Hey, everybody. Welcome in to another edition of Player Profiles, brought to you as a part of the Back Porch Sports Report. It is Monday, so it's time for another look at a player profile, a look at an influential sports figure's career straight off the express lane. These podcasts bring a mix of well-known and maybe some sports figures you've never heard of, but hopefully all will be fun and informative. So let's get right into it. Today's player profile is Baseball Hall of Famer Mickey Mantle. Mickey Mantle was born on October 20th, 1931 in Spavinaw, Oklahoma, the son of Lavelle Mantle and Irvin Charles Mutt Mantle. He was of partial English ancestry. His great-grandfather, George Mantle, left Brierley Hill in England's Black County back in 1848 to come to America. Mutt Mantle named his son in honor of Mickey Cochran, a Hall of Fame catcher. Later in his life, Mantle expressed relief that his father had not known Cochran's true first name because he would have hated the name Gordon. Mantle spoke warmly of his father and said that he was the bravest man he'd ever known. Early in his life, Mantle actually batted left-handed against his father when his father pitched to him right-handed, and he batted right-handed against his grandfather, Charles Mantle, when his grandfather pitched to him left-handed. That's how he became a switch hitter. His grandfather died at the age of 60 in 1944, and his father died of Hodgkin's disease at age 40 on April 7th, 1952. When Mantle was 4 years old, his family moved to a nearby town of Commerce, Oklahoma, where his father worked in lead and zinc mines. As a teenager, Mantle rooted for the St. Louis Cardinals. In addition to his first love, baseball, Mantle was an all-around athlete at Commerce High School, playing basketball as well as football. He actually played halfback, and the University of Oklahoma offered him a football scholarship. However, his football playing nearly ended his athletic career. In his sophomore year, he was kicked on the left shin during a practice game, and he developed osteomyelitis, a crippling disease that was incurable just a few years earlier in his left ankle. Mantle's parents drove him at midnight to Oklahoma City, where he was treated at a children's hospital there with newly available penicillin, which reduced the inflammation and saved his leg from amputation. Mickey Mantle began his professional baseball career in Kansas with the semi-professional Baxter Springs Whiz Kids. In 1948, Yankees scout Tom Greenwade came to Baxter Springs to actually watch one of Mantle's teammates, third baseman Willard Billy Johnson. During the game, though, Mantle hit 3 home runs and got some attention. Greenway returned in 1949 after Mantle's high school graduation to sign Mantle to a minor league contract. Mantle signed for $140 per month. That's equivalent of about $1,500 today, with a $1,500 signing bonus, which is equivalent to about $16,000 in today's dollars. Mantle was assigned to the Yankees Class D Independent Yankees of the Kansas, Oklahoma, Missouri League, where he played shortstop. During a slump, Mantle called his father to tell him that he wanted to quit baseball. Mutt drove to Independence, Kansas, and convinced Mantle to keep playing. After the visit, Mantle hit .313 for the Independence Yankees. Schutz Stadium, the baseball stadium in Independence where Mantle played, had been the site of the first night game of organized baseball in 1930. Mantle also hit his first professional home run there on June 30th, 1949. The ball went over the center field fence, which at the time was 460 feet from home plate. In 1950, Mantle was promoted to the Class C Joplin Miners of the Western Association. Mantle won the Western Association batting title that year, hitting .383. He also hit 26 home runs and recorded 136 RBIs. However, Mantle did struggle defensively at shortstop. In the following season of 1951, Mantle was invited to the Yankees instructional camp before the season. After an impressive spring training, Yankees manager Casey Stengel decided to promote Mantle to the majors as a right fielder instead of sending him to the minors. Mickey Mantle's salary for the 1951 season was $7,500. Mantle was assigned uniform number 6, signifying the expectation that he would be the next Yankee star, following Babe Ruth, who was number 3, Lou Gehrig, who was number 4, and Joe DiMaggio was number 5. See, back then, the number that was assigned to you on your jersey often signified your position on the team. One time, Casey Stengel, the manager, spoke to Sport, stated this about Mantle, quote, "He's got more natural power from both sides than anybody I ever saw." And Bill Dickey called Mantle once the greatest prospect he's ever seen in his time. After a brief slump, Mantle was sent down actually to the Yankees' top farm team, the Kansas City Blues. However, he was not able to find the power that he'd once had in the lower minors. Out of a moment of frustration, he called his father once again and said, "I don't think I can play baseball anymore." Once again, Mutt Mantle drove up to Kansas City. When he arrived, he actually started packing his son's clothes, and according to Mantle's memory, said, "I thought I raised a man. I see I raised a coward instead. You could come back to Oklahoma and work in the mines with me." Mantle immediately broke out of his slump and went on to hit .361 with 11 home runs and 50 RBIs during his stay in Kansas City. It's amazing what a little bit of motivation will do for you, isn't it? Mickey Mantle was called up to the Yankees once again after 40 games at Kansas City, this time wearing uniform number 7. He hit .267 with 13 home runs and 65 RBIs in 96 games with the Yankees. In the second game of the 1951 World Series, New York Giants rookie Willie Mays hit a fly ball to right center field. Mantle, playing right field, raced for the ball together with center fielder Joe DiMaggio, who called for the ball and made the catch. In getting out of DiMaggio's way, Mantle tripped over an exposed drain pipe and severely injured his right knee. This was the first of numerous injuries that plagued the 18-year career of Mantle with the Yankees. He actually played the rest of his career with a torn ACL. In the following year, 1952, Joe DiMaggio retired from baseball, actually following the 1951 World Series. Mantle moved to center field after the retirement. He was selected as an All-Star for the first time and made the AL team, but did not play in the 5-inning All-Star game that had Boston Red Sox Dom DiMaggio at center field. In his first complete World Series in 1952, Mantle was the Yankees' hitting star with an on-base percentage of over .400 and a slugging percentage of over .600. He homered for the third Yankee run in a 3-2 Game 6 win, and he knocked in the winning runs in the 4-2 game number 7 with a home run in the 6th inning and an RBI single in the 7th. Mantle played center field full-time for the Yankees up until 1965 when he was moved to left field. He spent his final 2 seasons at first base. Among his many accomplishments are all-time World Series records for home runs with 18, runs scored with 42, and runs batted in with 40. The osteomyelitic condition of Mantle's left leg had exempted him from being drafted for military service since he was 18 years old in 1949. But his emergence as a star center fielder in the majors during the Korean War in 1952 led baseball fans to question his 4F deferment. 2 armed forces physicals were ordered, including a highly publicized exam on November 4th, 1952, which was brought on by his all-star selection. However, the examination ended in a final rejection from armed forces service. Mickey Mantle had high hopes that 1953 would be a breakout year, but his momentum was stopped by an injury early in the season. He missed several weeks, so his numbers were modest but respectable, especially with 92 RBIs that season. Now, the next season was arguably his first great year, as he concluded with 37 home runs, a .306 batting average, and with those 37 home runs, he was now a home run hitter, not just an all-around player with tremendous power. Mantle had his breakout season, though, in 1956 after showing progressive improvement each of his first 5 years. Described by him as his favorite summer, his major league leading .353 batting average, 52 home runs, and 130 runs batted in brought home both the Triple Crown and the first of 3 Major League Baseball Most Valuable Player awards. He also hit his second All-Star Game home run that season, and during Game 5 of the 1956 World Series, Don Larson's perfect game against the Brooklyn Dodgers, to be exact, Mantle kept the perfect game alive by making a running catch on a deep fly ball off the bat of Gil Hodges and provided the first of the 2 runs that the Yankees would score with a 4th-inning home run off Brooklyn starter Sal Maglie. Mantle's overall performance in 1956 was so exceptional that he was bestowed the Hickok Belt as the top American professional athlete of the year. He is also the only player to win a league Triple Crown as a switch hitter. Mantle won his second consecutive MVP award in 1957, behind league leads in runs and walks, a career-high .365 batting average, second only that year to Ted Williams' .388, and hitting into a league-low 5 double plays. His batting average in mid-season had climbed as high as .392. His on-base percentage at one point had reached .537. Mantle reached base more times than he made outs, .319 to .312, one of 2 seasons in which he achieved the feat. The 1958 season started off slowly, however, for Mantle. The first half saw him hit only .274 as a shoulder injury from a collision with a Braves player in the 1957 World Series left him with permanent struggles in his uppercut from the left side. And there's actually another story out there that says he badly injured it playing touch football at home in the late summer of that year. Now, whether that's true, we may never know. He did, however, regain his status, hitting .330 the second half of 1958 and leading his team back to the World Series. The 1959 season was another frustrating situation. This time, the first half of his season was good and his second half was really bad. The season was bad for the Yankees, too, as they finished 3rd in the division. Although his numbers dipped again, he managed to score 104 runs, and his fielding was nearly perfect. It was that year also that he was timed running from home plate to first base in 3.1 seconds, considered outstanding for a heavy hitter. 1959 was also the first of 4 consecutive seasons with 2 All-Star games being played, and Mantle played in 7 of those games. Mantle made the AL All-Star team as a reserve player 1959 as his numbers had tailed off from previous seasons. He was used as a pinch runner and a replacement right fielder in the first game, with Detroit Tigers' Al Kaline playing center field position. Mantle started at center field in the second All-Star game lineup, though, getting a single and a walk in 4 at-bats. In 1960, Mantle started in both